tutorial starts with a song, but it's only a few seconds long.
Computer animation. Computer animation. Computer animation.
Let's get started with animation. New in Maya 2019, and we're in January 2019 now. New is above all the cached playback. Other things here, faster Maya, performance capture, are also interesting. Additional mesh nodes I did not find yet. The time editor has improvements too, but always small improvements, but this is quite a big one, the cached playback. And I'm going to show you its limitations and how it does work. And by the way, when you install Maya 2019, either as an educational license, which is an excellent tool to study and which I'm using actually because I'm not using Maya commercially, or as a commercial version here, you will get Substance in Maya. That's the fourth entry here in this section. Substance means Substance Painter and Substance Designer, excellent pieces of software which are industry standard by now. They come from a developer team in Paris, and the company is called Algorithmic, and Substance is their product. I'm not going to get into this today because we're going to concentrate on the cached playback. Now, when you create an object in the scene like this sphere, you see everything is the same as before, but you have this part here which is green, means it's new. It's new in early 2019 with Maya 2019. When you click on it, you deactivate it, and you see that the timeline gets a little bit smaller, thinner. When I reactivate it, it jumps a little bit up because it needs space for a line down here. And you will see the line as soon as you enter keyframes into the scene. So let's go to frame 13, for example, press the key S, and move the sphere right here and up here, and press the key S. All of a sudden this green line appears here, and when you deactivate it, it doesn't. So the green line indicates that the whole animation has been cached and you can move in the scene back and forth, and that's one of the critical things with a complex scene. When you wanted to do that in previous versions of Maya, you probably would have Playblasted it. It's under Windows, Playblast. It creates an animation and a final movie actually of the preview of this scene with all the real-time animation. But this is not really critical. We can leave it like this. Let's give this another color. So we need to do something more complicated in order to see what this is doing here. So let's delete the animation here, delete all by type channels, that is, so the animation is gone now. And we're gonna make this sphere a little bit more complex in order to get more complexity into the scene. And instead of subdivision axis 20 by 20, we raise this to 40 by 40. This is quite a high resolution sphere now, as you can see here. Now we create a mesh network from it. Mesh is right here, and this is the icon to use. With this selected, we click here, and we get 10 units of this, 10 representations of the same sphere. By the way, in Maya 2019, you don't have a mesh weighter here anymore. You used to have it in previous versions. I think mesh has been an integrated part of Maya since version 2017 has been massively refined and made very, very elegant in version 2018. And now it's basically the same. And let's see what the cache playback does. It does nothing because there's no keyframe, no animation whatsoever. So let's create a signal node, which just does a little bit of animation, and now you see that the green lines have started to work again. When we change the noise scale, for example, the cached playback has to evaluate the whole thing, and if we go to the distribute node here and instead of number of points 10, let's say 200, then the green line starts very slowly, but we can already use that part here for interactive playback. This wouldn't have been possible in previous versions of Maya, and the green line stops moving forward, but when we stop working with the scene, just looking at things, the green line walks all the way to the end. And now I can use the cached playback right here. There's a right mouse button menu here as well, evaluation cache. That's the default. You can use your software cache or the viewport hardware cache if you have a very strong graphics card. Let's create a new scene now, and I want to show you something with an emitter. We emit from the center of the scene and the particles flow down. Now you see a yellow line here, or an orange line, and it gives us an error message. And we find the details right here. It says warning, cache playback safe mode, cache disabled as unsupported nodes were found in the scene. And the unsupported nodes are the dynamic nodes. So we cannot use this in a dynamic context. We cannot scrub backwards, for example, only forward here. The same applies to dynamics of other kinds, for example, hair or soft body dynamics. But how about paint effects? Let's go to modeling, to generate, and here are the paint effects, and we get a brush. We scroll down to the trees, and here we have the birch blowing. That means it comes with an animation which simulates wind. I get the cursor changing into this circle here, and I just want to paint one single tree. Now go back to this arrow so I don't paint more trees now. You see the green line reappeared, so it's fine with our system, but the cursor jumps because it does not really play back in real time. And when you change something here, for example, the sample density or the seed, the green line starts from the beginning and shoots to the end, so it doesn't have to really think a lot. But when we go to modify and convert this paint effects tree to a polygon tree, that's this entry here, things change quite a bit. You see the green line is behaving now as we've seen it before. We can now have a very nice and smooth interactive playback right here. We deselect the tree and have a look at it shaded. It doesn't matter whether you're closer or how you move in the viewport, but now you have a nice interactive cache here until here. And here it gets stuttering again because it's not that far. If you're interested in this part, the green line will start working here. So we have a cache playback right here. But here it's already nice, and if you wait a couple of seconds, it's all done now, and you can scrub through the whole scene. So that's all I wanted to show you. The cache playback works with keyframed animations and certain other types of animations, but not with dynamics. Bye-bye.